Hello, hello, hello. How are we today? Go ahead and let me know where you are from so I have a good idea. Oh my goodness, in my feedback I put echo. We don't want to go into hypnosis yet. So yeah, go ahead and let me know where you are right now, what country or what city you're in, and if you're ready to learn, because it's always good to learn. Now, also let me know, by the way, is this music too loud? I don't know if it's too loud. It's very loud in my earphones. I'm trying to figure out where my sound is. So we got Dave from Burlington, Iowa. That's awesome. We got Sandy, Utah. I was in Salt Lake, Utah, not so long ago. I really need to turn down this music for me, though. Okay. Rancho Cucamonga. That's not so far away from where I am. I'm in San Diego, California. So if you can just help me out right now, is my sound background music too much? Does it sound okay? And then we'll get into today's content. We've got another Utah here as well. Wow. Okay. Sounds better now. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more just for my ears. I do like to have a bit of music in the background, but if we were to put this on the podcast, this will be, what episode will it be? I just released one today, so this will be episode 503. So welcome to this episode, and today I'd like to answer any questions you may have, which I'll be getting to maybe later down the line. But I've got some subjects I'd like to speak about too. And this is being broadcasted live on YouTube and also Facebook. So if you're getting this in the replay, it might be a good idea to like, subscribe, and kind of hit that bell on YouTube. That's where I'm going to predominantly be doing my live videos, I think, but I might be putting it to Facebook as well. So just make sure you go ahead and do that. That means you'll get notified, so when I do go live, you'll be able to listen live and also ask questions. So in this episode, I would love to talk to you about a few things. And the ideas that I was thinking about today were, let's go into the first subject. The first subject is, in times of our deepest stress or darkness, that is going to be where you get your epiphanies. You don't get epiphanies really when you're totally happy and excited and life is really, really good, although it can happen. Epiphanies actually happen when you get to that place where something has to change, where you've decided that everything is saying no, and I've got to say yes. Where there's no option, I've got to go within myself to do something about it myself. Not having to rely on the external, but to go on the inside and say, look, I am ready. Because when everything shows up that way on the outside, that's where we've got to make that decision on the inside. It doesn't come from anyone else. Yes, there might be instigators, there might be events and situations that have allowed us to be in this situation of darkness or not feeling as if there is a way out. But in those times, you have to remember something. And that is, the rock bottom is actually a foundation. Is a foundation you can build upon. And it comes from assuming responsibility. It comes from deciding that you are worthy of more. You're deciding that you are worthy of more of your situation. that you're going to learn because of this situation, that you're going to do something because of this, where you're utilizing everything that's going wrong and going, now it's time to make something right. Because every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. So we must not settle for our circumstance. We must decide on something more. Wherever you are, decide on being more. Have the big goals and dreams and outcomes, and then do whatever it takes to put a plan in action. But it comes from that decision. In that darkness, in that issue situation, we've got to decide that even though this is happening, I'm ready to turn my life around. Even though I'm experiencing worry, fears, doubts, anxieties, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to invest within myself. And investing in yourself doesn't have to be about money. But it definitely has to do with energy and time. And more often than not, when everything is saying no, then that's all we have on ourselves, is that time to work upon ourselves. To double down and go, look, I'm gonna make a change. I'm ready to experience more. I'm gonna utilize this as an opportunity to grow, which we discussed on the previous live, I believe. But it's an opportunity to change my mind. You might not see it within you, all the possibilities. You might not see all the good, great qualities right now. You might be going, well, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough. What if this happens? What if that person thinks this of me? And even though you have that thought on the inside, that voice that tries to keep us down, we have to remember that voice only came into fruition based on our previous experience. But it doesn't mean it has to remain the same. It doesn't have to define who you are or where you're heading. But we can utilize it. The louder that voice says negative, worrying, or doubtful things about who we are and where we're heading, we've got to put a stop and go, no. Even though I've got this internal inner critic, I'm not going to let it beat me. I'm going to make a difference, because that difference within myself can be the example to someone else. Do I want to be the example of where I presently am or my past self? Or do I want to be able to utilize my past self and that new self and the future self as an example of what can be done? And that's the choice that we have each and every second. We have choice. We have the ability to choose new thoughts, new feelings, new decisions. And you might be saying, well, Joseph, that anxiety, that depression, that worry, that fear, all of those things are just too big. Well, yeah, in the beginning. It's not going to be easy straight away if you're just doing it by yourself. I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to be able to hire someone, an expert. But in the beginning, it's always hard. If you go into the gym first time, expecting to lift 400 pounds, you're setting up yourself for not a good experience. When you first get into the gym, it's going to be a struggle, it's going to be a hard. When you go for that jog or that run, you might not go where you want to go. So it's okay for it to be hard. And that's the thing. Sometimes if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it. We've got to decide that, look, it might be hard in the beginning. It might be tricky, it might be a struggle. But like everything, do you remember when you maybe learned to ride a bike or drive a car? Or if you go way, way back, learning to walk? It was hard. But you know what? When you first learned to walk, your parents or guardian didn't say, oh my goodness, you're not getting it. Just quit the walking. Just stop it. You failed once, you failed 5 times now. Just stop trying to learn to walk. No parent would say that, because they know it's about effort, practice, time, desire. We know it's hard in the beginning, but you know what? It gets easier. Every time you attempted to walk, you fell, you cried, you got stressed, but you persisted. And you did that. You didn't know anything different, did you? You saw other people walking around, and you thought, why not me? Maybe you were encouraged. But no one ever said, stop trying to learn to walk because you're not very good at it. I don't know, what age do people learn to walk? 2, 3, 4? I have no idea. I don't have children. But you would never say stop it or quit it. And it wasn't in your DNA to quit either. Even if someone said no at that point, I'm sure you would on the inside going, no, I'm going to get this. So you have the ability to go into situations despite the struggle in the past, when you didn't know better. Or you could say, when you actually knew better. Because you weren't buying into that internal voice, you weren't buying into society, you weren't buying into what other people think, you weren't buying into that experience and the decision you made because of that experience. You decided that even though I'm experiencing that, I'm going to do something. So there's no difference between then and now other than your ability to choose. We can choose to remain the same, or we can choose what is right. Whatever you desire, whatever it is, you deserve it. And the biggest foundation of rock bottom is pretty solid. But that's a great foundation to build on. And if you're going to build on something, you might as well start on ground zero. And then just keep on going. Moving forward, learning from every situation and making a decision that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I get this conquered. I'm not going to stop until I achieve X, Y, Z. You got to make that decision. It doesn't come from me. Even if you hired me or you hired someone else, I or someone else can't make you do something. Although hypnosis is pretty powerful. It still has to come from an open mind. It's still got to be listening. You got to still have the intention, the desire to make that change. So it comes within you. And that rock bottom feeling can either be where we stay or the perfect, the most amazing foundation to build upon. You see, in that time of darkness of rock bottom, it's an opportunity to create the perfect structure. And by structure, I mean to define what is important to you, to define what you're ready to give up, to define what you're ready to get, to define what you are worth. As I said, lots of experience will say, look, you're not good enough, you're not capable. We might come to those conclusions, we might have been told those things, but it doesn't have to be your reality. It can be a part of your experience because it happened, or people are still saying it. But you know what? On a slightly different subject we might get into on a future episode, maybe you've outgrown some of those people in your life. And maybe you've tried to shrink yourself down to match their expectations for you, to match their values of what they think you should be doing. Maybe we've shrunk ourselves so much that we're living up to their expectations, but maybe we may have outgrown them. And that's okay. We're all unique, we're all different. So think about it. Are you going to allow the situation to dictate your happiness? Or are you going to make this foundation of rock bottom something to build upon each and every day? Even when you don't quite make it, like maybe you just fall a little bit short and you go, do you know what? I'm human. It can happen. I'm not going to win every time. In fact, the only way you'll win every time is when you learn from when things don't happen exactly how you wish them to be. So get ready to learn and decide that maybe this is my opportunity to shine. Maybe there's where I say to that internal voice, no. It always reminds me of a story, and I'm going to butcher it as usual. But it's almost like there's that voice saying, look, you're not going to make it. You can't weather this storm. This storm is way too big. It's too powerful for you. It's going to make you cower. You're going to give up. You're going to fail and all those things. You won't weather this storm. But there's that part of you on the inside that goes, do you know what? I am the storm. I'm the creator. I am the person who says what's going to happen in my life. So when that little voice says you won't weather the storm, you go, no, I am the storm. I am the creator of where I'm heading and what I'm about to do. You see, lots of times we may feel bitter about our circumstance. This person did this to me, or I feel bitter of a decision that I made in the past, a mistake which weighs on my mind. Or I might feel bitter because I didn't achieve that success that I set out for, like an interview or a promotion. Or that relationship which broke up, I feel better about that. I feel better about my family, whatever it is. You can choose to feel bitter, or you can choose to feel better. And better is obviously better than bitter. You see, when we feel bitter, as another little thing I'm sure you've heard, if not, you'll like it. When we have that internal hatred for others, or that bitterness for our circumstance because of something, it's like having poison for someone, but drinking it ourselves. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So we might as well choose to give up the bitterness and go, look, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to decide, I'm going to declare that rather being bitter, I'm going to just focus on getting better. Not best, but better. It's almost like saying to yourself, I kind of suck right now. Like where I am, it kind of sucks. Doesn't feel good. I'm just going to choose to suck less. I'm going to do little decisions here and there. I'm going to start to feel more gratitude. I'm going to start to take action. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to put time into myself. I'm going to better myself. It's not about getting 100%. If you go, look, I'm just going to get 100% right now, tomorrow. Well, right now, tomorrow is a weird sentence to say. Right now, tomorrow. It's not going to really help us. Why don't we just focus on feeling better? Just a little bit more than yesterday. Because if you focus, let's just say, as a rough idea, you said, I'm going to focus on getting 10% happier or 10% closer to my outcome, my dream, every single week. Just 10%. It's better than going 100% tomorrow, because that might be too big for you, or it might feel unattainable, and that will give you scarcity, worries, and doubts. As you're going to set yourself up for self-sabotage, in other words. But if you just say, look, I'm going to set myself up for 10% better. If I can improve on my success, my esteem, my worth by 10% every single week. Of course, in 10 weeks, you're going to get to 100%, but you're actually going to get it quicker than that, because we forget about the compound interest on each 10%. If you increase by 10%, or every day a percent, you're actually growing that percentage by more because you're growing 1% on top of the previous percent, or the 10% on the previous 10%. So you're actually going to get there quicker. So maybe choosing to be gentle on yourself, because we rarely do that. We take things so personally. Even if we've made mistakes in the past, let's just be more gentle and go, I'm just going to suck less. I'm going to just be less of my old self and more of my new percent, my new self. Because when you get to that percentage rate, if you go, look, I'm going to get 10% happier, I'm going to get 10% close to my goal, then beyond that goal, you're going to get so much more because you're going to build upon the past. You see, I've been doing what I've been doing for 19 years, which is crazy to think about. It's actually, I'm not very good at math, but it's like kind of half my age. Half my life I've been doing what I've been doing. Now, where did I learn the best? Where did I grow the best in doing what I do? I can tell you right now, was not the trainings. It wasn't all the books I've read. It wasn't all the well over $150,000 or so dollars I've invested in my personal development and things like that. They were needed and they were good and great. But the investment on my return was doing things every day, utilizing what I learned and put it into practice. You see, if you were a surgeon, you don't learn everything. I'm going to guess, I'm no surgeon, but I don't think you're going to know everything by the end of your surgeon degree of some sort. No, you're going to learn it in real life, on the experience. That's where you're going to change. That's where you're going to grow. So realize that let's give up the bitterness and get into the betterness. Just grow every single day. 1% every single day. 10% every single week, which is, I know, 7% every single day, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe on the compound interest, it will get to that 10%. But you have to really think about it like that. It's not about getting to the absolute outcome straight away. It's about making positive decisions every single moment, being conscious of what is happening and choosing something else. Choosing what is good and great for you. And that decision will be hard in the beginning, like I said at the beginning. But after a while, you'll get momentum. That little voice will shrink and your voice will grow. Other people's opinions will start to be none of your business. Other people's opinions of you, none of your business. It's just their expectations. And that will build into your then belief. So we get that strong foundation from feeling at rock bottom. That's where we build. That's where we decide. That's where we make changes. And then we start to just get better. And that better will grow into belief. But that persistence will create the belief. You see, the beliefs you have about yourself, let's just say they're not that good, like I'm not enough, I'm not capable, what if I get found out, and all those things. They're strong beliefs. But you can tap away at them. You just keep on tapping away by choosing these new decisions. Making good conscious decisions. And after a while, that momentum will build. Almost like you're carrying this heavy weight up a hill. It's hard at first. And it might even get harder as you fatigue a little bit. But your drive and passion to get that one step higher and another step forward, that percentage, even that 1 centimeter gives you that extra depth of getting closer to your goal. And after a while, you'll get to the peak of that mountain. And that peak will start to level off. and then it'll start to get flat. And then that momentum will be so strong that you'll be going down the other side. And you'll get faster and quicker and better and more powerful, because now you've got that momentum. You're going down that mountain, building up, getting stronger, tuning in, and being more aligned with your desires than maybe you have ever before. And that's how life is. It's a journey. You may want to look into the hero's journey. I think it is a Joseph Campbell. Now, if you look at every movie ever made, they usually follow the hero's journey. And that can be broken down in different ways, but ultimately every movie is when everything is all fine, and then something happens to this character. And that's where the stress happens. That's the big significant emotional event, the turning point in their journey, which then makes things interesting. And it feels like a struggle, it feels like stress. But in that movie, that hero has to now make a decision. They make a decision to grow, to overcome that issue or that conflict or that challenge. But the interesting thing is, it gets deeper than that. Because in that movie, that hero not only learns about themselves, that external circumstance makes them realize something about themselves. But more often than not, there's a second level of the hero's journey, which is something greater than themselves, where they save someone or they start to go on a journey of helping more people, where that one issue they experienced, that one big challenge that they had, not only awakened something within themselves, but it actually caused them to help many others along the way. So it's the two journeys within one journey. And most movies, most books, if you look at them, will usually go through that. Something big happens, cause them to look within themselves, to realize something about themselves, overcome it, and then realize something more important than themselves, which makes a greater and bigger impact. Now, you can be the script writer of your life, you can be the movie star of your life, and you can be the success of your life. But it comes from that decision that when things are happening, when the pressure is up, when everyone is saying no, when every situation is closing down, that you go, even though this is happening, I'm going to make the change I desire. That decision will be a kaleidoscope of experiences which will lead you to something more. So reflect upon it. Ask yourself the questions. Am I going to just choose to give up my bitterness for where I am and just focus on getting that little bit better every single day? I'm just going to choose to be better than I was from yesterday. I'm going to build a strong foundation whenever I feel like I'm in rock bottom. Because I know when I do those two things, I'm going to start to build belief. And your belief creates your capacity, or so I should say, dictates your capacity, which dictates what you do in your life, which then dictates the results that you get, which will reaffirm on that identity belief system. Step by step, millimeter by millimeter. That's what happens. We've all been there. And that creates a meaning out of life. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you want to go ahead to YouTube, you can go ahead, go to youtube.com/josephclough and be able to subscribe, like, and ultimately get notified. That might be very valuable. And of course, this is only for people who And this just because there's what my system solves. So I'm sorry if it excludes other people. It's just, there's my system I created. If you are in business and you want to further your career to the higher levels, if you want to really transform your life and go all in on the fully customized experience in many different levels, you can go to josephclough.info/go, and that will allow you to book a time to talk with the team, to be able to get to speak with a team, figure out where you are, where you want to be, and then see if you're a good fit for the program. It is application only, and as I said, it's really for people only who are in business as themselves, as a business owner who which wants to grow, let go of the inner critic, the self-sabotage, the imposter syndrome, or those in a career doing the exact same thing. And with that, my wonderful friends, I look forward to speaking to you on a future live video. But if you're getting this on the replay, or on the podcast, I should say, I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. And if you're enjoying these lives and you're listening to the Hypnosis app or the podcast, please go ahead and like and review. Leave a rating and a review, because that just means we help more people by doing so. The more views we get, it gives us higher up on the search engine on a podcast and also the app, and that just means that we can reach more people. There are over 500 free episodes, over 100 hypnosis sessions, all for free on the free Hypnosis app. Just go to the App Store, search my name, Joseph Clough, and that means you'll be able to get it. But of course, you can go ahead and leave a rating and a review. We're increasing updates. There'll be a whole new overhaul of the Android app, and also the iPhone app is getting modifications as we speak. So it's going to get bigger and better. Day and night forms of all the audios and other cool, super awesome features. So with that, my wonderful friends, I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. Many thanks, and goodbye.